Good morning, friends. It is, what is that, the 22nd of February, and it is Sunday. We've had, what, 2 weeks since BrickCon, and it's been a week since my little update, I think. I don't know. It's been a few days, at least. Anyhow, the store has been very busy on top of my work being very busy. A few things with the store. My kids have been hard at work parting out sets. So first up, we got the Friends, I don't know, 42614, whatever that is, some kind of little vintage clothing shop. And so I got 4 of those at half off on clearance at the Pop store, something. I can't remember what it's called. I talked about it in another video. But my girls wanted to help part out, and they were just sitting on the bottom shelf for a while. So I was like, sure. So one of them took that, and one of them took my 5 copies of 10347, which was also half off. So both of them gave, decent. There's two manuals per set. Both of them gave decent POV, product values. So, and a lot of new lots between them. Stuff I didn't have in the store. Nothing that's like, super wow, but just handy dandy. And then a while ago, Walmart had like this. There, my cat's doing stuff. Walmart had this like bundle deal with, you got this Batman one, the 50s, 60s Batmobile, the one with the red trim and everything, and then the Gotham animated series diorama. And you got them all for really cheap. Like you end up getting the diorama for like $200 each versus the retail $300, which a set like that doesn't often go on any kind of a discount like that. So, so they parted out these, as you can see, pieces in here from the botanical set. They also help and all of that needs to be reconfigured in order to actually fit. They worked on getting they're currently working on the Batman set, parting all that out. So they're in bag, I think my youngest did bag 6 out of 9 or 10, however many there are. And then just the little bags, but she's pretty quick and pretty accurate. There's only been a couple of pieces in the wrong spot, but she's 7 and does a great job. So I'm glad that she can lock in, and she likes getting paid. I pay them $5 an hour to do it, which I feel is pretty reasonable for a 7-year-old. She drew me a Lego brick here too. So sweet. Shoot, I was going to pull something up a second ago. Oh, yes. Haha. So went over to my father-in-law's. Let's see if I can pull the messages. Try not to show my entire text history to everyone. Just quite this second. But my partner's dad, my wife's dad, has a whole wood shop. And I mentioned, I don't remember how much I mentioned before, but he's going to help me build those, like the messages for Windows. Android messaging for Windows doesn't always pull all of your messages. I don't know. Let's see if I can find the file. I can't remember if I've shown it. And I don't even know why I'm trying to pull it up here. I should just show it as a screen insert into the actual video. I can't easily find it, so I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, the layout, when I was talking about changing this whole situation, so we have some positive movement on that. I ordered 6 of the Acro, just the wide draw units, and some caster wheels to send to his house. He's going to start working on that. He and I talked about it for like an hour yesterday, just to be able to get some basic measurements. So I'm sending him 6, so he'll be able to get the height of one with 5 of them, and then the opposite side with the 1. So it'll be 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 3, 4, 5, 6 up the side, so that he can make the 8 of them. And then at some point we're going to need to get plywood, which there's a lumber store nearby, but then Home Depot has their standard grade plywood for actually cheaper than the specialty lumber store does, which usually the lumber store has better prices. But Home Depot had it for cheaper, and you can rent the vehicle right there at Home Depot. Neither of us have a truck that can hold a sheet of plywood. But yeah, so they're gonna, or we need to get that at some point, but it'll need 8 sheets of 1/2 inch ply and 1 sheet of 3/4 inch. So we'll make all the bases out of the 3/4, screw the wheels directly up into those, and then father-in-law, he's going to dado in a slot on the base, and then a slot on the face pieces. And a dado, just for those that don't know woodworking, a dado is basically like a channel. So if you have, I'm trying to see something in around here that would easily demonstrate. Yeah, let's do it live. Okay, here we go. Easy enough. All right. So we're going to tripod up this thing. Let's do this. All right. So this is your board. And if I can get off. So you have your board, and then you have this channel. Now imagine this is a sheet of plywood that goes out, whatever distance. Then what this functionality gives you is you have another sheet of plywood running in a generally perpendicular angle to it, and it slots down into there. So imagine, a whole big sheet slotting into there. So what it does is it gives you some stability. It gives you a nicer glue edge, and you're able to keep everything aligned much more easily. So that's essentially what a dado is, the channel, and it allows you to slot in a piece of wood or whatever. So you would cut the width of your dado for the same with this, so that'd be 1/2 inch in this case, because we're using 1/2 inch ply for the centerpiece and the face frames. So essentially will end up being like this is not going to be quite to scale. I drop pieces on the ground, which helps no one. Now I want to make it to scale live on camera, just for the sake of y'all being like, oh god. I don't know. I don't know if this makes great content or not. I don't necessarily care, but I'm not going to demonstrate the dado in Lego right now on this scale. But so essentially, you get a platform, and then we'll do a bunch of illegal stuff. Trying to do this in an easy enough way. All right, so you have the base, you have the face of it. So this is what sticks out. And when you're looking down the hallway here, you just see all of the faces of the 8 of them. And then on the inside here, you'll have let's do 2. So that's 2 acro units. They're facing out from each other. So when you pull this out, and then this one's facing towards you, and all the individual drawers are facing here, and the blue one is facing this way, and all the drawers are facing out this way. And then it's stacked, 5 acro units tall. Just my little loose brick coming in clutch. Lego joke, if you catch my drift. That's a Mega Blocks. Who's that in here? I was like, that's a cool color because it's not actual Lego. But yeah, so this is essentially what it ends up being. Just this is 1/2-inch plywood instead of 1x4 brick. Here's the floor, all the units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you're able to. There'll be a handle on here. You pull it out from the whole row of them, and then you've got your 5 acro units stacked up, and then you pull out whatever pieces or put in whatever pieces from the drawers on this side or on this side. And when you're done, you can shimmy back in. You'll have rolling casters in the front, fixed casters in the back for stability, because the whole thing is only going to be like 13.5 to 14 inches wide. So we did some physics measurements to find out the tipping point, because it will be 6.5 feet tall. I somehow don't have a minifigure close by. Yeah, it's far away. I cleaned up my desk and got rid of all the figures that were lying around waiting for me to work on them. But yeah, so it'll be about 13 inches this way, about 20 some odd inches this way, because an acro is 20 inches, plus we'll have the plywood there. There'll be a plywood piece down the center here. So if you're looking at it from the top view, essentially you're going to get a T, the face piece, and then the plywood piece in the middle, and then the acros get screwed and they'll be bolted in so that they each basically bolt into each other on the sides. And then the weight is all borne by the base. Nothing's really being borne on the plywood in the middle. It's just all there for structural stability. That's essentially what we're building, what we're going to make. We're going to make 8 of them. So we need essentially the face boards with measurement. You get basically 2 per plywood sheet. This plywood sheet is 48 inches. And these are 20, maybe 21 inches. I'm going to remeasure to see how much we got, and then what kind of like gap and leeway we can give. But so 4 sheets of plywood just for the faces. The internals need another 4 sheets of plywood, and then the base, we can get all 8 bases out of 1 sheet of plywood. So that is what we're making. Yeah, the casters are being sent over to father-in-law's house on Monday. The 6 acro are being, because I don't have any spares to give them to measure out. So I was like, I'm just going to order some new ones because I'm going to need them anyways for this whole thing. So those are coming on Monday for him as well. So at some point we need to get 9 sheets of plywood to his house. And once that is done, the building of the thing is done. Then it's just getting them to my house, which he can fit at least 2 of them in his car. And being the grandparents of my kids, they come over often enough. Yeah, so we're going to build those and probably have that storage system somewhat functional in the next couple of weeks, which means that I need to get more serious about cleaning up that table, because I already took care of a lot of stuff, but there's obviously still a lot more to go. It's just the stuff on the table. Once we get rid of the cube is not going away, but get rid of all this other stuff, clear it up, get the table out of here, then that's where the other, let's flip back around. That's where the other smaller overflow, I call them small overflow bins, but the skinnier acro, collapse this down. I really do like this tripod. Yeah, matter of seconds, I'm back in handheld mode. But those are all going to stack, as I've previously discussed, stack in here. I'll be able to get one more column, push them over, and then so it'll be a stack of 2 columns essentially, and I'll have yay high of a shelf of some sort that I can use for. I still need some shelf space for things, but this isn't as tall, I don't think. Well, it's pretty close, so that's probably about as tall as the whole situation will be, but it's a nice standing arm level. So I'll put it in a shelf there, which I could really use this big piece of melamine that's across there, cut it, put it there, probably work pretty well. Yeah, I'll want some sort of shelf there in order to place some of this stuff back, or as I have cups of stuff that I need to work through, there's still need for shelf space. That's something that I can't get rid of, because there's still the need for some stuff like these instruction boxes. They have to sit somewhere. So shelf is great. The minifigure boxes that I use, the card style boxes, those will have to sit somewhere. So a shelf is still useful to me. Might create like a multiple layer shelf situation or whatnot. Who knows? God, I said whatnot. Sorry, there's everything about that site just skeezes me out. Yeah, so all of these styles going over there. So one to make an extra column, and the other 4 will stack on top. That'll cover that side of things. Then all of these 4, the extra wide ones, they're going to double stack, and they'll come over here. And then from this unit on, they will come off the wall. They will be turned into our towers. And that means all of this stuff will have to find new homes / shelves move up, which I'll be able to move. Like this shelf can just go up. We're going to go back in the tripod mode. Right. Sometimes I wish my camera had like an even wider zoom. Okay. So using this handy dandy ancient tape measure, like if I forget what the actual amount ends up being, but they're 6.5 here. Wait, no, they're 6.5. So that's 6.5 is approximately where it's going to come to. So essentially these shelves are all getting pushed up by 6 inches or so. So who knows? Empire might be a little tall. We can put a smaller antenna on that. But that shelf can just go up. That shelf go up higher to match it. There's no overlap, which I think I've talked about before. There's no overlap, so the shelves could really just be a full straight line. I would probably not be able to have all the same artwork on that one, but we can put those on some of the walls or whatever. There'll be some random space on this side. That shelf won't have to move, which now you can't see what I'm pointing at. But the Dungeons and Dragons shelf should not have to move because the stack of the two wide units will come about the same height as, or exactly the same height as the other ones. So there'll be a space for a shelf here. But one of the things I needed to do was remeasure how far this will get us. And because this is sticking out, how wide is my shot? It's okay. It's better. Because this is sticking, it'll stick out this way because the units will come out like this. So it'll stick out roughly 20.5 inches. The problem with this tape measure is it's I don't remember the proper name. It's like a landscape survey tape measure. So it doesn't measure inches, it measures feet. You can see at 2 feet, it resets to 1 instead of going to 25 inches or whatever. But anyhow, so get to the math. 20 inches is going to be just shy of 2 feet of 20 or 1 foot. 2, 3, 4, 1 foot 8. So it'll stick out that much, which is not terrible. It's 1 acro and change. So I determined it's only slightly more than this shelf already does stick out. So not too bad at all. As far as like occupying space in the room. The main thing is wanting to maintain flow of traffic through from the doorway and being able for people to come and use the restroom and such, because as I've said many times, my wife teaches piano. The waiting area for students is just beyond the door, and they can come through as they need to use the restroom. So I want to make sure that it's not just, oh, Jordan can, snake his way through whatever labyrinth he's created, but that it's a functional space for people to be able to come through. So 20 inches out this way, 20.5 if you count the baseboard and handles and whatever. Those tilt bins, I'll show you in a minute. I'm thinking about putting some of those tilt bins on the front. We'll just have to see size-wise if that works or not. It's not a big need, it's just an idea. But the main thing is I want to remeasure how long I have so that we can get a final measurement for if we have a little bit of room for the units themselves to be slightly wider for more stability. If we have the ability for how much gap space we can give between all the units, just for, they're not a super snug fit because, these drawers sometimes stick out a little bit. There is kind of it's not exactly flush. It's mostly flush, but you know how these things go. You're not always going to be able to get like these through here. And I don't want to have to shove in that last little, 1/4 inch every single time I'm pulling one of these in and out. If it's slightly out or whatever, and it catches on something and spills. So a little bit of space, like even a, quarter inch or half inch might be much, but a 1/4 inch at least extra to each of them, just for a little bit of buffer space. So anyhow, I'm going to get a final measurement. It's not an easy way to do this with one person because the kind of tape measure this is, your inch mark starts from where that hole is in short of drilling a nail into anything, we can do a bar. That's actually a brilliant idea. You're so smart, Jordan. I know. Okay. You know, it took me talking about where that thing started, because last time I did this, I was like trying to shove it in between gaps and stuff. I don't know, I just gotta talk about things, and then the solution becomes obvious. I get it. Now, will it hold well enough for me to pull this? Look at there. All right, so I want to take it to the edge of my desk. We are at 9 foot. I think 9'4" gives me the best amount of space to work with without having to be too snug up to my desk. 9'4". The other thing would be if I do one more. How far out is 20 inches? It does kind of get, a little. Yeah, that sticks out kind of. I think that's too much. I think here's good. I think one more is too much. It's 9'4", which sounds less than I had in my head before. I don't know if that's because I was counting all the way to the end of that thing and not thinking about the desk. 9 times 12 is 84, so that's 88 inches. Why is that less? Did I just measure wrong the first time? That's why you measure twice. Measure twice, cut once. What is it to here? It's 10 foot to there. That's what I was measuring. What did I... No, 9 times 12 is not 84. My math is failing me. My kids would laugh. Yes, Doug, it's for you. This is all for you. I'm gonna blame it on the fact that it's 4 whatever or 5 o'clock by now, and only had part of a cup of coffee, as you've seen. I'm gonna hurt myself trying to do this math right this second. Yeah, 9 times 10 is 90, and then another 18. Yeah, okay, 108 inches. There we go. All the way is 120, which is what I was thinking on before, so that won't work with my desk being, as wide as it is. So 108 inches, which is 9 times 12, will work. So if we do that, 108 inches, then I'll do this on the computer, figure out the widths of each thing, what I want to do with gap, and then see just how many. We might not be able to get full 8 units. Might have to drop to 7. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm gonna do it not live. Okay, here's my great little math and diagram at work. All right, so 108 inches for the 9 foot, but it's 9'6", so 114 inches is our distance to play with. There's about an inch or two leeway before we get to the edge of the desk, so things aren't crazy snug. 114 divided by 8 units gives each unit 14.25 inches. So one acro is 6.25 inches. Basically the bare minimum amount of space you want for one of them. It's probably like 6.15 or 6.2, but 6.25 inch. Times 2 of them gives us 12.5 inches of acro depth that has to be dealt with. Half-inch ply brings that to 13 inches. A half-inch gap between each unit. So you basically unit, half-inch gap, unit, half-inch gap. Brings us to 13.5 inches. And then a half-inch lip brings us to 14 inches, which is a 1/4 inch shy. So that gives us an extra 1/4 inch of gap space to be able to work with. So that is awesome. That gives us a half-inch lip, so a 1/4 inch extra on each side. So we're giving each acro unit 6.5 inches. I think the 1/4 inch plus about a 3/4 inch gap between everything gives us all of the distance that we need to be able to fit 8 acro units without them being, or 8 acro towers without them being too crazy smashed in with each other. So that would be 80 acro units total. Because we 8 towers, they each get 10 because it's a stack of 5 back to back. So that's 80 acro units, and we are pulling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 off of the wall. We are, because these are all coming over to here, set as a net gain of 68 units, 80 minus, wait, I'm going to say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay. A net gain of 64 units to be able to put in. So we need to order, we're not going to do this immediately. We're going to have some blank towers for a while. The 64 acro units, I ordered 6 already for the building of the thing. These little ones are going to get replaced anyhow. The shorties, I'm going to put a real one, a full one there as well. And yeah, so that's going to need to happen as well. There will be, then it's a matter of how do I want these towers? Do I want them to stay little drawer, big drawer, same configuration, or switch it up? And the towers are going to come, they're there. So it'll be like having another whole unit stacked up on top of this. That's all tall this will be. But, I want to maximize the space as much as I can because this is all I've got. And I don't want to have to do this again and redo any of this if I don't have to. So yeah, with the towers all in a row, they shouldn't have any issues with falling over, tipping, whatever like that. When they're pulled out, it'll be a matter of, I pull it out, get the pieces, slide it back in, or if I take it over there, we're thinking about putting like a little, basically how a ladder truck works with the arms that come down. So we can put some arms along the bottoms of them that can rotate down and basically give just extra stability from rocking back and forth. Yeah, so that'll be tall. It'll be one more acro plus the 3-inch casters and a 1/4 inch apply. So, another 4 inches up from all that. But a lot of stores do a 5 acro high setup. So I know it can be done. I'm 6'1", so the only people that won't be able to reach it are my kids, which, they help a lot, but they don't have to reach everything. So yeah, that'll be pretty sweet. That'll be, we got to order, pick up another basically 25% or so from each of these as well. There's, dead space in all of those. Yeah, so we need to order, that's 64 plus those 4, so 6, back up to 68, and then I ordered 6 of them, so 62 more acro to be ordered. They will be ordered as needed though, and I don't need them for a while. This is a very future-proof situation, but it's better to make all of the towers shells, at least to have those ready now. And then, I'm getting towards the end of this. I'm on my second to last one over there. So, and then we're going to switch the whole store over to a more consistent numbering labeling scheme. I've yet to determine if I want to do a barcode system, but with that many drawers eventually coming into the store, a barcode system is what makes the most amount of sense, and it's better to start now before I start throwing in another, couple thousand drawers in here. I think I calculated up to 5,000 extra drawers, or 5,000 drawers total when it's all done. Depends on what units I get. I don't think I'm going to get rid of the hybrid. It's just the 2 hybrid units where it's the small and then the big ones. I don't think I'll get rid of those because I don't want to have to deal with, I'm already going to have to get rid of these and figure out how to sell them. I don't want to have to do that with those 4 as well, because there's no way I'm going to recoup the cost of what I paid for those, but I've been using it, so it's okay. So yeah, a lot to do, but it's actually happening. I just gotta get the plywood to make it happen. Look at this little loaf. It's a ragamuffin. The next step is clear this off, or at least get it somewhere where I can then move those over here, those over there. Just take those 4 off the wall, slap them along there for now. All those bins will have to go somewhere that can go in one of the shelves, potentially. They might get filtered into the acros, although there's some like bulk stuff in there. So filtering the acros probably is going to work. This tower might end up getting extended up another level. We'll see. This thing's been incredibly useful. It's so nice to be able to just be like, oh, I need such and such from P11, great. And I just grab it, slide it out. The downside is my alleyway is cluttered, so it's hard to get in there. I like the cart, but it is pretty big, but it does give a lot of shelf space, so I hate it and I love it. It's frustrating, but useful, but it's in the way, but it'll hold stuff. So I don't know. I might keep it. I might get rid of it. I don't really want to get rid of it because then I'm really cutting down my shelf space, especially if I'm getting rid of, or at least, making it in a different space there. Okay, well, I am babbly now. I'm going to edit this video, get it uploaded, hopefully before kids wake up, refresh my coffee, and carry on. Thank you, my dear viewers, for enjoying this journey. I didn't even talk about orders. I'm not going to go over orders right now, but I have 12 orders right now to pick. It's Sunday morning. I think that's the most I've had at any one point. Some of it's from Thursday. It's like mid to late day on Thursday. Friday, I just did not have an opportunity to pick. Saturday is hit or miss. So we're on Sunday. My goal is to get all of those orders out tomorrow, and we'll see how that goes. One massive order just came in today, overnight. So that one I might delay a bit. There's a few of them that have like 50 to 100 lots. So I'll focus on the little ones and get those done fast, and then probably do a couple of the bigger ones up together just to make more efficient use of time. Yeah, there's that. There's the filter the parts down into new drawers, new locations, whatever. Like this is all just these things, but it's too much to close now. So I either need to put those in a bag and throw it in the P tower, or split up the colors, which is probably the route I'm going to go. Yeah, just always something new to do. So thank you for watching. Also a gift from my father-in-law, the same one who will be helping me with the towers. He made that fully, the buttons he bought, but made the box and has a CNC to be able to do those. So I might have him make some nice little label things for here. Yeah, big changes in store, for the store. This will probably look very different in the spring, the whole upgraded system. I'm excited. I'm a little scared, but I think it'll be great. Thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate you all. I will see you all next time.